Hello.
Hello. Children, gather round. We have a story for you. A story about Thanksgiving.
Hunter Fournette, I see you in there.
I see you, Hunter Fournette. Now, if you give $10 more, you'll make the boys real happy now.
Hunter's the man.
Hunter is the man. I try to make him a moderator, but I just don't know what that does. I don't know if that gives him too much power.
Hunter, you'll be able to, if you send $10 more, you'll be able to get the On-3 hoodie and the hat.
Just someone who else
all
is
together.
also active in the chat that we had been calling Lyle Baloney. So just a heads up, it's Bellany. No, Baloney.
Baloney.
Yeah, it's definitely baloney.
It's baloney now.
Baloney.
Nah.
Bellany?
That's baloney.
He better not be full of baloney with this Peppleton talk.
All right, so shout out Hunter Fournette who threw that $10 in and said, buy the pup a treat for me. Lundy makes the golden retriever makes a lot of appearances in the background of my podcast.
That's what he said. Is this like
She's always back there sleeping or meandering around.
Is this like a who's your guy? Sullivan with the cat?
Yeah,
That's like that?
close.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam's dogs were always like walking around. It's like,
I think it's a good vibe. We had, before we moved to this obviously immaculate setup, we had Copper Dog in like every show.
Oh, Copper was in shows here.
Yeah, he has made a couple guest appearances here as well. As long as the dog across the street
Till
doesn't
the
get
flea
in.
incident
Yes.
occurred and the whole house had to be...
Yeah, we narrowed it down to one suspect.
Oh, no.
I think it was him. It was Copper.
I mean, one person here is a dog.
One
it
person,
ain't
yeah.
it ain't us.
And it's Thursdays on where my dog's at. There's too many dogs in here.
Yeah, way too many. Oh.
Arr. Arr.
First time he did that, he scared Caleb so bad.
Who?
The row. Like, the first time he barked, Caleb was like...
This is what we do here.
barking.
All right, we're back.
Time to find out
Recruiting
about
Power
the
Hour
dogs.
with
Shea
just
the Power.
Just Shea.
Shea the Power.
What's the Thanksgiving plans,
People are
my
saying,
friend?
people are not even on my board. Like, just say Shea the Power real quick. Quick question.
Yes.
A little traction.
We did it. Look at us. Who
Shea
would've
the
thought?
Power. Just absolutely stole this man's name.
All this is like a collision course YouTube like hangout between the actual
the
power and
between
I.
to the powers that be.
But is his name trademarked? Is the question.
For sure. When you've been going at it that long,
I
you just
mean, he didn't trademark the name, so
Yeah,
you
he-
could kind of take it and
No.
trademark it for yourself.
There's
and
more
call
than one
yourself Shea
power
the
out
Power.
there. We've made that true. It's because we got one right here.
Carter's the only
Shea
one.
the Power.
Carter is it.
There's two.
Yeah, the Carter 2, the Carter 3,
See?
Shea the Power.
So
In
we
the
got
chat.
some Dachshund shout outs. We got some. The Dachshund will get a treat too. That $10 will go a far way.
It will.
Okay, Hunter Fournette did ask any more contact between Anthony Hill, the TAMU linebacker decommit, and the LSU staff. I know there's been contact and talks. I don't know if that will lead to anything major. If they can get him on an official visit after the SEC championship, that would be obviously really noteworthy. But to this point, from talking around, I have not heard anybody say like it's a foregone conclusion that he's really interested in LSU. Texas is what everybody thinks he's going to do.
And how long was he committed to A&M?
For a while, I think.
So is this a case of, is he going to be the first domino to fall? Like, he's definitely in the, when do the portal names get released is a better way to ask this. Because I've seen some trickle, but when's the official, like, all right, I'm in the portal? Does it have to wait until the season's over?
For college kids?
Yeah.
The day after, it's December 5th, Monday. So LSU plays in the SEC championship the 3rd. They announce all the playoffs, all that on the 4th. On Sunday, bowls. And then on the 5th, underclassmen can enter. But you saw Bama running back Trey Sanders went in this week.
Mm-hmm.
LSU hosted a kid
From
Notre Dame this past weekend. Those kids are all they've already graduated.
Okay.
So they can enter at any time because you've already got a degree. If you haven't transferred before, you can do the kind of one-time free thing and don't have to wait till a window. But if you're an underclassman,
You have to wait until the window.
the 45-day window starting the 5th.
So, like, Jacoby Matthews.
It's about to be, yeah, I mean,
Taylor Harris.
all guys like that. It's about to be wild. Now, did y'all see what Brian Kelly said about the portal this week?
Yes, I did.
Where he was like, it can kill your team or it can save your team.
Not only that, he was saying, obviously don't want, I think he was more, the point that, from what I gathered from what he was saying, I'm not there, I just rewatched them from WAFB. Thank you for sitting the clips. Or sit in the presser, then I'll make the clips. Either way, if y'all want to do the clips, that'd be great too.
Yeah.
But
nice.
what I got from it was he doesn't want to have to build a team through the portal like he did this year. He said what it can be useful for is topping your class off, like if if you were getting gas and you just wanted a little squeeze to, get you from a 3/4 of a tank to a full tank. Top yourself off a little bit of the portal, a little Denver Harris, Jacoby Matthews.
We'll take him.
Denver Harris hadn't played.
So
He's still suspended.
one thing that Kelly has talked about too is getting Louisiana, like targeting Louisiana guys.
Mm-hmm.
So there are Louisiana guys kind of all over. I think he likes that match of kids who are coming home, want to play for LSU, perhaps at this point in their career. Let's see what he said, though. I want to give you the exact quote.
Might have it on the computer. Yeah.
He said, I think when you go into the transfer portal, you better know what you're getting. If you don't, shame on you. I think we knew what we were getting when they went into the portal.
Yeah, and I think that might be his.
That's a way for him to say, not every kid who hits the portal is LSU material.
Right. And you saw what Brian Kelly did, to where he said not everybody that's on the LSU roster is an LSU kid. Whenever he first started building the team, you saw Dwight McLaughlin leave, some other cats that were Deion Smith, to where
Eli Ricks,
where he kind of changed the culture a little bit about what he wanted, and now all he has to do is find guys that, first off, I think you're right, he's going to look for guys that are from Louisiana that may not be happy where they are, and rewind that tape because it worked so well for you this year whenever you got Greg Brooks, Fuchsia, Noah Kane,
Converse.
Like that seemed to be, that's the majority of guys.
Colby Richardson they took. He was a Louisiana kid.
Every transfer has made an impact on this team, pretty much.
And that's what you want to see from the portal. And that's what he said. It can make you or break you. But I don't think he wants to build through that. But I am, the day that you just said, December 5th, is going to be a landmark day. It's almost like semi-recruiting signing day again, whenever you see just who's available. And if it's the names that people want them to be and the names that LSU fans want them to be, and it comes to fruition and they hit the portal, I think a lot of, and this is where I would defer to you, a lot of people are going to feel like LSU is going to be mentioned with a lot of these names.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, though, because I feel like this time around everybody's looking at A&M and being like, oh, I want X, Y, and Z. One, I've heard this from the people on the A&M side who are in the know. They're about to double down to keep those kids.
In terms of how they got them in the first place, they're going to go back to the well.
I think they're going to go back to. I don't know if that's the smartest move at all, but to not get your roster gutted, they're about to have to double down.
And we talked about that last week. That's what I said. What would make A&M? Because at the end of the day, when you talk about, it wasn't even transfer portal, but the people that they got in their recruiting class, I think it's A&M has been the name most mentioned with NIL. And it worked. Technically, it worked. You had the number one signing class in the country.
Which Saban said they bought the number one signing class.
Right. So what would stop you from doubling down and doing it again when you knew it worked that way? Now, okay, let's move on to chapter 2 of the same book.
You're too far into it to get yourself out.
Yes.
Now, here's another quote from Brian Kelly. The portal. I think it's one of the areas that can really get you into trouble or really get you out of trouble. I think it got us out of trouble because we took great character kids that could represent our program in a positive way on and off the field. I mean, to me, that's very clear of we're not taking everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody just who hits is talented gets in.
You got to fit the bill over here.
So that would be a shot. Not a shot, but that would be, who would be the first name that you would think, I would imagine Denver Harris is probably one of those guys that's 50-50.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate playing that game. But It's clear that he's saying that's something they're monitoring, like everything that comes with it. Now, they took more transfers than anyone. Oh, that's what I was saying. I feel like everybody is sitting here saying, A&M, rate them, blah, blah, blah. Who that they took as a transfer, when they hit the portal, were you even they got to get that guy? Jaden Daniels?
No, I don't even think that he was the biggest part of the portal name, right? You were kind of shocked that he was available and LSU's interested. It's that's when you thought LSU didn't know what they were doing in the
There was the
room.
kid, Tyler Steen, who starts at Bama that was from Vandy. Everybody was we got to get that kid. We need an offensive lineman, which I guess Miles Frazier has helped you in a big way there.
Makai Wingo?
But nobody was jumping for joy over him.
No.
I mean, I'm not going to say I was.
He was all freshman SEC, but still it wasn't like people said, That guy's a difference
game
maker.
changer. Yeah, but then I will say,
I mean, even guys who were Greg Brooks and Joe Fuchsia.
Yeah, those were probably
those were Louisiana kids, and it wasn't like people were like, dude, you got to get Fuchsia and Brooks.
No.
Yeah, because it didn't feel like you knew who was in the portal and who was out. It's like, oh, there's two guys in the portal, and as soon as they were in there, they were to LSU, right?
Right.
There wasn't a lot of time to decide if you wanted them.
And I think with back channels and everything, in my opinion,
Uncle Frank,
75% or more of kids, maybe I'm making this up.
Oh.
This
Good
is not
tagline for the
this
show.
is not true. No, I do believe this to be true in a lot of cases, that a lot of these kids go into the portal and already know where, like,
yeah.
I'm not going into the portal if I don't know if I have a home, right? Like, I'm not trying to just be chilling in the portal.
Yeah, because that was a lot of the talk of when the portal
100%.
first started. There were so many names in the portal, and they were like, I don't think I have a place to play. I shouldn't have put my name in and could come back.
Correct.
And then you have, I think there's a certain class of guys that, first of all, are very good, and then second of all, have been either talking, and this was the seedy underbelly of the transfer portal. It was all the back channels through, whether it be high school coaches,
Yeah.
teammates, or high school teammates, that they were, hey, you went to high school with him, you're at LSU, he's, insert school B. Can you talk to him and gauge his interest of what it's like over at Arkansas, A&M? And if they get a resounding, oh, their ears are open, then that's when you kind of press forward, right? That's when
Right.
the plan evolves.
Jacoby Matthews come home.
It really does feel like, is that the one with the one name now? like with the question that you asked of, oh, you have to have that guy. Doesn't it feel like this year there's some names circled where if you're an LSU fan, it's like you have to get that guy? Because it's both at positions of need for LSU.
I mean, I think people are circling just their favorite Louisiana names that they missed on, hoping that they go into the portal and come back home.
Yeah, you're in LSU's top three. You obviously liked him at some point. Consider it going with the A&M thing, or the A&M side, I guess. Isn't Walter Nolan one of the names that has also been rumored to be in the portal? Big defensive tackle that was on LSU's little short list.
I mean, I've seen people speculate that.
If he's not in the portal, he's certainly in the crowd. He was one of the 12th men. Did you see that?
I don't know. So basically, y'all are all just watching A&M.
I think that's what everybody's doing.
I'm not just watching A&M. I think
Stewie's watching everything.
I think there would be transfers from a lot of different schools with some Louisiana.
Here's what I'll say. I think they're going to take defensive tackles,
Walter Nolan.
one or two. I think that they'll take corner because you just don't have anybody. I think they'll take a tight end, I would think. They want to have more tight ends. Mason Taylor's good and all, but it's not like
You just need depth.
you need depth. Maybe some older guy who can play there.
Back Markway.
So those are three spots that I would start with. And honestly, I think if a guy who's proven himself as a return man enters the portal, I think he would get a spot.
We do need a returner.
The punt return
Oh, just like kind of like a specialist.
doesn't have to be all you do, but it can be all you do
I
here.
feel like they addressed that with Clayton. Is it?
I mean,
Well,
Stewie, break the tie here. Is Greg Clayton the answer for the future, or are you trying to get in the portal? Yeah, you're trying to get in the portal. Not that he's doing a bad job or anything, but you could find guys who...
We need somebody that adds to that. Like,
Yeah, he can catch it, no doubt.
Oh, now we need the next step of can you return it?
Can you return it?
Well, why don't we just get Greg to catch it
And hand it off.
and give it to Malik?
There's a guy behind him.
Yes.
It's where Malik is. He turns and tosses it to him.
Snap it to him. But
It's-
because it's unfortunate the way that all that played out for Malik Neighbors. Obviously, he's had a stellar year, but you can see he's got some return juice. Like if that never happens and he stays at returner, you
Yeah,
could
of course.
see why they put him back there.
I don't know why they ever
Well,
left
what
him. I mean, yeah, I watched the first game, but I thought they should have gone back to him.
I don't think you could. He's too important to the offensive side. If that happens again, to where you've broken the child.
Okay. I get it. I'm on both sides.
You
I'm
got
all
to parent
good.
him a little bit. Don't give him a.
And
reason
look,
to
it
not
may end up
succeed.
being Greg Clayton again next year, but I just would be a little surprised if that were the case. I do think they can get a little bit stronger.
They got Ibieta on the roster somewhere.
Yeah, he's been just in the concussion protocol all year.
Oh God!
Not all year. I mean, enough for him to take a red shirt. I
Keeps
think it was
happening.
missed the first month of the season.
Yeah, should have went to Texas Tech and Mike Leach.
Hunter said everybody's up in here vibing today, no work
No work.
except us.
You don't remember when Mike Leach put that kid in the closet for concussions?
Oh yeah,
I do.
because it's supposed to be dark.
Yeah, it's just like a migraine. He was taking care of him. He's a good doctor.
You can't sit in the light.
Let's see. Bilbo Baggins asked if it was the Weenie Dogs or if Emily brought that or me into the Emily. Emily's a big Dachshund fan. Big Dachshund.
And I actually have a take on this. What if Dachshund people exist? Like people that are staunch about Dachshunds that like have Dachshund. Don't you have like Dachshund decor in your
no
house?
doubt. Until it's like when you get a car and then you drive around, you notice that everybody has that car, and you didn't really notice it until you got it. That's how dogs can be.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
I think it doesn't matter if it's like a lab or a dachshund or a Frenchie. Once you own one, then you see that
they're everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. Everyone's got a sticker on their car. We don't, but
what is is that just a golden retriever, like a miniature golden retriever that you have?
Golden retriever.
It's just not getting any bigger.
Yeah, she's just kind of a runny.
Because it makes.
She's from the streets of Mamu.
Oh, athlete, 5-star.
Mamu.
Ruben Randall.
The neighbors down there said that they were going to shoot her if she kept getting in the crawfish ponds.
Shoot her?
So they sent her to Baton Rouge.
Oh.
And then I found her
Transfer
in the streets.
portal.
No doubt.
She's portal from UL to LSU, baby. We'll take them.
Kenneth asked about who could be on LSU's transfer portal watch list. I think Louisiana guys, but also positions. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need. Really don't need like a bunch of receivers.
I met Lateral Savoie. Do you remember him?
I do not.
From Mamu.
Mm-mm.
He went to Michigan.
Must have been before my time.
We played him in high school.
So it was not before my time.
Got my brother pulled, coach. First play of the game. Cool. One-on-one screen, took it 80, and he's like, you can't guard him. And we was like, we don't have anybody here that can guard this guy.
Lyle Bellany asked Shea any news on Pimpton. This is the kid committed to Vandy. He just soared up on 3 rankings. I think he went from like a 3-star to like a top 150 player. But Stewie, you love his film.
Yeah, I do.
The Pimpton tight end, that kid was balling.
Yeah, but
he's like 6'5" or whatever, and it's freaky.
I mean, I would think that LSU would want a tight end that can make plays.
No doubt.
But you already have a tight end that can make plays in Dixon Taylor. But like, wouldn't you think in this offense they would want like a tight end that's more blocking?
He blocks a bit. I know that they said, I talked to some people who said his last 2 weeks he's done a lot of inline stuff and looked good. I think they would take him. He's committed to Vandy, though, out of Texas. He actually plays at North Crowley, where former LSU star John Diarse coaches, for those that don't know.
Oh, I wonder what his...
Neville grad.
Yeah, I wonder what his... Oh, so underutilized.
Yeah.
Quarterback at Neville. Did he win a state championship?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Moved him to wide receiver, then he single-handedly
But he
wins
was a receiver.
Yeah.
He graduated and then went to TCU.
Yeah.
And has now stayed in that Fort Worth area, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder what his recruiting pitch, if any, that he has for LSU.
He loves LSU.
Does he?
Yeah, he graduated.
I just feel like they squandered him.
They squandered a lot of receivers in the
the Les Miles era.
The
Malachi Dupree.
2000s.
Jesus.
Terrence Tolliver, there's a lot of them.
I mean, Terrence Tolliver got a little run, you know.
Ruben Randall.
He got all the way up to Canada.
He got more run than Malachi Dupree.
DRs.
And DRs, for sure.
Brian says, Shea, what's LSU's biggest position of need this cycle, and how do you grade the commits and likely targets? Well, I grade the class well. I mean, they're top 5, and I think they've hit on a lot of the needs. Likely targets down the stretch, and we've talked about them. Pimpton, that Vandy tight end commit. Desmond Ricks, Toviano, Isaac Smith, a bunch of DBs in there. Still got Harbor out there. Still recruiting some D linemen, Jordan Hall and some others. But I'd say biggest position of need, corner.
Shea, I saw your piece on, speaking of corner, I saw your piece on Dalen Austin. Is he on Flip Watch?
I mean, I
read his comments, and they kind of like...
They lean towards Flip Watch, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Dalen Austin, the kid out of Long Beach Poly, is now thinking of not signing in December. He's been committed a while. And instead signing in February, and he would make some more visits, and he was just at Michigan State, and he was at Oregon before that.
This is what you're scared of, right?
Well, here's my thing, too. This is why you don't have a lot of California kids on your roster. Like, maybe some other schools can get out there and recruit him that are in the Southeast. I don't know what LSU's issue is, but they've never had California kids on the roster. And in large part, you don't want, like, you have all that here in Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Bama, Mississippi. Like, you can get anything. So if you can go get, like, an elite player like a Dalen Austin, and that's all you're really hinging on in California, that's fine. But you're going to run into this when at the end, the West Coast schools and everybody else that are closer to home are after him, and
you don't really.
Then he has to really think, oh, wait, do I want to go
it's a long way
play
away.
in the SEC long way from home, or do I want to stay out west?
And what do you say? I mean, Eli Ricks, do you consider him a California kid?
No, because his parents moved here.
But he played at Mater Dei for 2 years?
Played at IMG.
I know that he moved to IMG. Eli Ricks, he played at Mater Dei for 1 year for sure.
Yeah, he played
2 years.
Then he went to IMG.
Yeah.
Then he came here, and his parents moved here. So there's not a sense of like, oh, I'm far from home if your parents are here.
No, I was just thinking of kids that have come from California.
Yeah.
That's how far of a stretch I'm having
right.
to make.
But even then, he was an IMG kid
Right.
who had some ties.
to Louisiana.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about, speaking of corner, Stamps from Rummel.
He had a rough go, I guess, against Shelton.
Yeah,
Shelton
Well,
went
no,
for,
that's fine.
yeah, that's fine. And I think Stamps might be a safety, so he's matching up a bit with a top 3 or 4 receiver in the country who can run a 4-4.
Well, yeah, well, and I don't think that's
Shelton went. This is a playoff game between Rummel and Catholic. Shelton went for like 120-1 or something.
That's not. Oh, well, dude, if you talk about guys that went off in the playoff games, too, who's my guy that we were just talking about? Parker.
Kyle Parker.
Yeah.
255, 12 catches,
They
255,
lost.
2 touchdowns, and a loss.
I think that they lost that game that he went like
Oh,
23
earlier in the
catches for
year?
400 yards. I think they lost that too. That was a shootout.
But you were on Stamps early, and it feels like he's just one of those when you're talking about Louisiana guys that you feel like you can get anywhere.
Yes, get him from here.
Yeah.
And I like Rummel kids.
Me too.
I'm a big Rummel fan. I think they produce solid players.
Great program.
Nothing's changed between the Christian Fulton era and now, like all the same coaching staff and everything. Like it's
No, I don't know if like top to bottom it's all the same, but yeah,
same program.
they just produce kids.
Yeah, because every time it's a Rummel athlete, I mean, stop me if you've heard of Jamar Chase before.
Shea, I wanted to ask you, why didn't LSU move up in the team rankings if they have 3 5-stars?
I think on 3 they're 4. They did, but on like the on 3 consensus, which is just the one they post, they're still 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 on 3, 5 on the consensus.
What led to that happening? Like, what gave them the bump?
Well, Shelton and Zalance Hurd were already 5 stars, and Deshaun Womack got a 5th star, but he was already ranked. So we eventually get to 32 5 stars, which matches 32 first-round picks. But we don't just start with 32. So, like, it was at, like, 20 or whatever, and then grows to 23 and 26. And so Womack was already ranked in the 20s, and now it just expanded far enough for him to get a 5th star.
So
He's a beast.
Who?
Womack.
He is. And
He may be starting next year
you keep
in
saying
the
that,
Joe Jolari spot.
and the more we've hung around and the more we've done this power hour, the more times you mention names this frequently and what they're going to do, it seems to come to fruition. So would not be shocked to see him play early next year. And obviously, I think this kind of ties into what LSU is doing. If you get a Womack, and there was a similar conversation, maybe not to this extent, but around Quincy Wiggins, and now you see what Brian Kelly is doing with the redshirting. So I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wiggins was just hurt at the beginning of the year, and
He's so raw.
that kind of backs up your development. He's pretty raw. Womack's a lot more developed than Wiggins. Wiggins just has natural athleticism, frame, size that you can coach him up, and he's a beast. I mean,
no, but I'm saying are recruits, because the redshirt thing
I think
seems
too,
like it's gone by the wayside.
Yeah, it has a little. I think it's just saves some eligibility for you. Wiggins wasn't around during the COVID years. He doesn't have like an extra year sitting in his back pocket. So red shirts mean a little bit more than they did during that stretch when everyone was given extra year. I don't think it's like a hindrance or anything. I just think he was banged up, and essentially it's like, look, let's just develop you and play you in 4 games, and you focus on next year. And if they didn't have B.J. Ojolari on the team, and like didn't have Ali Gay healthy and didn't have Savion Jones playing well, then they'd probably be like, you're out there.
You're playing. But no, I'm more talking about like in totality of do recruits look at that and say, okay, I'll play 4 games, and then he's not hesitant to throw a red shirt on. Like, how do they view being redshirted
I don't
anymore?
think they think about it.
They can still be...
Yeah, like a quarterback, like a Walker Howard goes in saying, like, I'd like to red,
And then I'll leave after my redshirt sophomore year.
The plan is to redshirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because you get so, like, I guess A&M is the best test case where you have so many freshmen that are out there playing. And if you're LSU, you're pitching playing time to a certain extent because of what you're going to have to replace. So I don't know if that means that they would rather go to the portal or we'll bring you in and you're going to have to compete with these portal guys. And if you don't end up winning out, we'll just throw the red shirt on you. And I don't know how that affects how they feel about their chances of coming to LSU and playing early.
I don't think they look at it that much.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
My opinion.
We have a question from John Bro. Are you ready?
Yep.
Ask me if you've heard this one before. Shea, do you think we can flip Derek Williams?
No.
No.
But he says he's going to take, this is a kid out of Westgate, Stewie's neck of the woods, he's going to take an official visit to LSU and Bama, he says. So we'll see. We'll see. But I've seen nothing to this point to lead me to believe he's flipping. He doesn't even come in for games. He doesn't go anywhere but Texas. I'm committed to Texas. He's a beast, though. I really like him.
What is Texas building over there?
A monster.
Do you think so?
No, I don't. Are you scared of Texas?
No, I'm just. You just see that they get massive names. Obviously, Arch Manning being the catalyst of that class. But I just don't know if Texas is.
They also got Ewers, who is like
right
the man. Now we see what's.
Well, he's concussed, or he hurt his shoulder. Something happened. But I'm just wondering if it's a case of they're picking and choosing 5 stars that they're able to get, or they're just guys that are like, oh, it's still Texas. Because I don't think Texas has played well enough to be able to land some of the. It's not about what they're doing on the field. It seems to be more about what they're projected to be in 2 years and 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're always selling as a staff, right?
I guess, but not when you have Arch Manning. Don't you think like, the fan base is going to call for him to start his freshman year?
Texas has got the number 6 class. LSU has 5.
We'll take that.
Take that.
So even when you're thinking in your head right now about Texas, LSU's got a better class than Texas.
Yeah. Well, it feels like LSU has more of a plan in their recruiting, which I would not have said 6 months ago. But it seems like whatever. I don't know if it just took him a second, which I believe Brian Kelly alluded to, that they asked him about recruiting specifically, and that's what he was like. We just took our time, and it's not something that I guess LSU fans or even me, who is an LSU fan, don't get it twisted, but I felt like they were dragging their feet a little bit on the recruiting front, and then they had these massive influx of guys that just one guy after another, and then you see Texas where it's like pop here, pop there, and it's always just a big name. So it's just 2 different styles, it feels like, but LSU seems...
You probably just pay attention to LSU's a lot more.
Definitely.
So...
And I barely pay attention to it now.
Trust me, you don't live that after that Texas TCU game. Vibes were at an all-time low in Austin. Ooh. They had invited all these kids in. Toviano and them no-showed on them. They lose. Then you've got all these big kids there. They didn't have some big wave of commits after like they thought they would. So grass ain't always greener, Lloyd.
What is, I guess it's the obligatory Toviano question.
Nothing new there. I think he's going to take it to signing day. If he hasn't popped yet, he's probably wanting to do some sort of announcement. And he hasn't popped up at any other schools. So,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I think the wonder from LSU is just why haven't you committed yet?
That's what I was going to ask. It seems like
that's a fair question.
It's turning into a very like mercurial recruiting saga. It's not at the Zach Evans level where it's
no.
It's like complete.
Toviano just keeps things so close to the vest that you really are left guessing. His actions speak towards LSU. It's the only school he's gone to a game at. He went to multiple games at the school on campus. He's visited like 3 or 4 times in 5 months. No showed on Texas. A&M's not doing well. That was your competition. You don't think he's going to go to a Michigan or Ohio State or anywhere like that? But
He's also not telling you.
he's also not saying anything. So
I respect that.
Jay Geiger, what's the scoop on Bama running back that hit the portal? Trey Sanders, he's just unfortunately got hurt. That year, him and John Emery were the same age and ranked 1-2. But, I mean, they've got Gibbs, McClellan, Roydell Williams, that kid Jamarian Miller that's the freshman was getting burned over Trey Sanders. So he was like 5th at Bama.
And I don't think that that's a spot for LSU, right?
No.
LSU was loaded. Like I don't want to say loaded, but their running back room.
You're fine at running back. You don't need to take a Trey Sanders, in my opinion. I can go move through some of these quickly.
Yeah, because
Hunter Fournette with his on 3 hoodie.
We have an 11:30.
Bilbo Baggins. Shea
up.
just conceded to the actual power. I did. Sheila Hendricks is.
Oh, dude, she always spreads the love.
That's awesome.
Big Sheila guy.
Thank you. Peace and blessings. Thank you, Sheila.
Because we thought she was like a bot, but I think she's real.
Bilbo Baggins wins the Desmond Ricks announcement December 22nd, I believe it is. So signing day is the 21st to 23rd, and he's doing it in the middle, the second day. Stephen Young talked about Dalen Austin. We hit on that.
What are your thoughts on
shot at Ricks? I think they've got a good shot. I think they're the team to beat for Ricks.
Really?
I do. But
I'm enamored with him, and I don't know
But why. Bama, Florida, LSU all get visits here before he announces, so I do believe that this could go in a number. I think it could go in any of those 3 directions.
Can you give me the inside track on Tavion Galloway? We're having him on mic'd up today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's it. Commitment, tight end next year.
What should I ask him? What's
about Denbrock?
Okay.
Get some scoop there. He does a lot of recruiting. I would ask him about.
Okay.
That guys he talks to. Who does he want in the class? He's very active on that. That'll be a good guest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who was the most active recruiter that you've ever had on campus?
Hunter Fournette. I love that A&M epically failed. Now they're just like, let's run it back.
Do it again.
Let's go.
This movie stunk. Let's make another one.
Bilbo Baggins, Denver Harris probably going to Florida. If he does leave, I could see that because Corey Raymond's at Florida.
Has that been a big of a hit as I thought it would be, losing Corey Raymond?
I don't think you know stuff like that until
years down
the line. I think right now what they're struggling with is just some misses from LSU at corner that ultimately have left him without anything. You know, and you hit on Ricks and McGlothern and they leave and transfer, play at other SEC West schools. So I think the worry right now is you just got to rebuild that room. Rob Boudreaux, Stewie, where are you from?
Franklin.
Not
10.
Franklin 10.
Not Franklin 10.
Franklin. Down on the bayou.
Franklin. Hold up. Put it on the. Pull it up for you.
I was about to pull it at Franklin, Louisiana.
Show y'all a little something.
Damn, Stewie.
Micah DeSormo, what about 2024 4-star Westgate D lineman Demarion Johnson? I actually think LSU is a team to beat for Demarion Johnson. So, and I do not believe we are facing a Westgate issue here if you're an LSU fan. Like, I don't think Ryan Antoine and that staff or anyone in New Iberia is like anti-LSU to any degree. Hell, the best player they had on that team is at LSU, Butte, in that program in the last decade.
And there was some things earlier with the Ed Orgeron years where it felt like LSU was behind in some schools or almost. Jamar Cain even told us this, where it felt like it was harder to get into the door than it felt like it should have been.
Sure.
Have those relationships. I feel like we're back to where LSU should be.
I would think that the coaches feel like they're all on level footing now that they've been here a year. Coming up on a year. So yeah, I think they're much more settled in. Man, we've got some debate here. I'm not going to get into this debate, but I'll at least the Arch Manning overrated last name. I don't know if he's the number one player in the country. I don't know if he's number one quarterback. The kid, Nico, that's going to Tennessee is good. I really like Jackson Arnold, who's going to Oklahoma. They're all 5-stars. But I do think that Arch Manning is a 5-star. For sure. He's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not just
the name.
The name.
And
the name might be why he's been number one and stayed there. That could be a fair argument, but I 100% think that he's a 5-star.
And Jordy and I were talking about this off the air a little bit. It was actually today.
Tasha said she loves Shea with 2 hearts. Tasha Tiger.
Tasha Tiger.
Thanks, Tasha.
But it's not that Shea. It's not that Arch is number one just because he's number one. But look at the build on him. He is
He's a big kid.
fully ready to play college football now in terms of size.
Talking about Arch.
Yeah.
I like Arch. I think he's a good player.
Does have great size.
Will Jacob Lacey from Notre Dame come over from the portal? That would help with DT help from John Bro. Yes, I actually do think they probably end up with Jacob Lacey. There's some thought that he might want to go home to Kentucky, but I just think the chance to play in the SEC. Look, they had him down here. You get Jamar Cain to sign off on it. Brian Kelly, Polian, even your strength staff have known Jacob Lacey, recruited him, been around him for years. So it's like a lot like Bramplett. Like, you don't have to do a lot of research when you recruited and signed the kid and coached him for 3 years. You know what you're getting. And if they brought him down here, that tells me that they're serious about him. I do think he ends up at LSU.
There's a couple websites.
Oh, Kindercamp. We got $4.99.
There's 100%. I hate to bring up other recruiting sites, but there's a crystal ball that's 100% to Kentucky for Jacob Lacey.
When was it made?
One transfer prediction. How do I tell that? I don't look at this site. I look at On3.
Thanks for that, Lloyd.
So I don't know how to get any farther than this.
All right, well, could be old. Reminding me to end this show.
Prediction was on 10/14/22. That
was before the LSU visit.
Okay, that hurt my feelings. What you just said.
It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
My alarm went off.
I thought you were serious. I was like,
no.
Oh.
Kindercamp said if Smoke Harris is in the portal on your LSU, do you explore it? For sure.
He'd have one to play one.
How many years has he been at Tech? God, he was a good high school player.
He's been there since 2018.
Who?
Smoke Harris. And they put $4.99 down with the donation there.
Who is Smoke Harris?
He's a kid that played at West Feliciana, so he's from around here. St. Francisville kid. He's like 5'7", but he's
5'7", 190.
Roll.
Like Puka Williams.
He can roll.
You know, Puka Williams only has like 7 toes.
Correct.
He only has like 7. Wait, how?
Shea?
I don't know. It's some accident or what, but I did know that. Yeah, he's football, track, baseball, basketball in high school. I like Smoke
No, he
Harris.
has no toes on his right foot. Lost him in a lawnmower accident when he was 9.
There you go. Google's your friend. So Kindercamp, I do like that question. That's a good one. Guys like Smoke Harris, Louisiana, like taking La Tech's best player is if he wanted to enter the portal is not beneath LSU. Like,
and you got a relationship.
They were starting McNeese's corner, so
yeah. And you got a relationship with Sloan, I would imagine.
Yeah, no. Smoke Harris is a good player. I'd definitely take him.
Is he transferring?
No, I think he just said, "Oh, Shea, if he's in the portal, would that be a guy you would take?" Absolutely. I don't know what his eligibility looks like though.
He's a redshirt junior.
Michael Roby, is Brown the 5-star receiver from Miami still a lock? I don't think anyone's a lock till he's signed, especially if you're from out of state. But from talking to people around Jaylen Brown, I do feel good about him sticking at the moment. Who does he remind you of?
Smoke Harris can go.
Jaylen Brown's a thin kid. Like, he's not real bulked up. So it would be someone that's come through. I like to do LSU comps that's come through in that mold of a receiver.
She doesn't have many like.
Not as big as like Chris Hilton was in high school. Oh man, yeah. I mean, LSU doesn't recruit a ton of guys that are.
Is it like a Jeray Jenkins body type, just with a little bit more go?
He's got some go to him. I think Jeray's a physical kid though by nature, and he's very filled out. Oh man, that's tough. I'd have to think about what the comp would be. Have to think about that. I'll come back to it. Fat Boy Slim, LSU is Desmond Ricks's last visit. That is correct. Rob Boudreaux said, I'm from Abbeville and live in Rain, so he's familiar with the stomping grounds, too. Abbeville. Micah DeSormo, Shea, do you think Danny Lewis could transfer to LSU? I guess he could. If they can get portal tight ends, they could probably find someone who's got a little more production at this level than Danny Lewis, who didn't play this year.
DJ Chark comparison to Jaylen Brown.
Oh, and Rob Boudreaux's dad lives in Franklin. We got all kind of connects here.
Oh, look, this is Franklin for all you folks that don't know.
Beautiful.
Franklin, Louisiana.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh, that looks like Louisiana.com.
The beautiful Franklin, Louisiana. Got the Catholic Church in the back.
Now see that double steeple. What do you call those?
Yeah, steeple. Open up the steeple. Here's all the people.
Okay. Yeah, pretty downtown.
Well, it's not really. Yeah, I guess you could call that the downtown.
Or a strip. Just a strip.
Call that the lamp.
Where's the one stoplight? No stoplight. A lot of street lights.
There's a stoplight at, right by the church, and then there's one right past this lamp post right here.
There are a lot of nice street lamps, though.
Yeah.
I had to get down to Franklin.
My grandpa installed those.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All of them?
Grandpa was the head electrician in Franklin.
No.
Go ahead.
Stewie.
I need some electrical work done at the crib. You got the people, Stu.
Call my dad.
Drive on up.
Actually, don't call.
Actually, don't call his dad. Still working on that car.
Tell him to buy me a car whenever you see him.
Had that Walmart money, he pocketed it.
Oh, Chark. That's a good. Chark, good one. Staba 07. I like that. Chark. Got some speed, a little bit on the thinner side, but definitely can bulk up. I like that one, DJ
Kyle
Chark.
Parker's a little thick, though.
Kyle Parker is thick. I think Kyle Parker might be the most ready of all of them. Like, you put him in next year and he'll play.
Shelton?
Shelton's ready. I think Shelton's long-term upside is bigger than Kyle's. But I think Kyle's probably right there with him in terms of being ready. John Broad, does Harvey Broussard end up in the class? How come he's not rated higher? I could see Harvey finishing he's a high 3-star. I could see him finishing as a 4-star potentially when it's all said and done. St. Martinville kid. Probably consistency compared to all the other receivers nationally would be why he may not be ranked as high. But he flashes. I think there is a chance he ends up in the class.
Did you see the
Russell Gage? That's an okay comp. I like Russell Gage isn't a bad comp.
And somebody dropped Russell Shepard in there too, but I think he's more of a polished receiver, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he's more polished than Russ. But yeah, that's a good string of guys who look like that physically coming out. Chark, Gage, Shepard. Haney's from Franklin. I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who?
Charles Handegriff.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Kinfolk76 said, I know about Franklin. I'm from Napoleonville.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's right there.
And we had one more, the obligatory Harbor question. If Ephraim Price, in a recent interview, Harbor said that LSU's assistant track and field coach, Catherine Arage, is his aunt, who's been recruiting him to LSU.
That's correct.
We'll take him. Thank you.
That is correct.
So sorry about that Maryland track coach that may have moved to Michigan.
Yeah. And then he's friends with Maryland. I'm sure he's got track connects everywhere, but that does help. Harbor's not signing in December. He's going to sign in February. So LSU's visit, which was going to be SEC championship game weekend, then they made it. Oh, hey, Mikey. We're running over.
Yeah, that was our...
The nicest way to say speed it the fuck up.
When a real athlete walks in the building and tells y'all to
hey, hurry.
Be done here, guys.
You done working out?
I just started. Yeah. I ain't even taped up yet, Coach.
But
any smoke with Harbor? Is there merit to that?
Now that they're playing the SEC championship, he's going to visit in January. So he'll get some I think it's like Miami and Maryland will get visits coming up. I think that's it. And then it'll be LSU. Because I think he's already done Michigan and South Carolina.
One more question.
So those would be the 5.
One more question.
All right, one more.
If Dalen Austin flips, what cornerback would you say, like actual high school prospect, not transfer? What cornerback do you think LSU targets?
Obviously they're on Desmond Ricks, and like Toviano's a DB. I like Carl Williams, Baylor commitment out of Baton Rouge. He's been a little banged up this year, so.
Signing in December?
I don't know what his plans are. I'm sure if he doesn't get any late burn that he would just sign in December, but if LSU comes knocking, we'll see. Oh, Kinderkamp did ask, what's up with Ethan Fields? Does he land a late offer? I don't think they're going to make any more moves on the O-line if it's not portal related. That's my guess. Unless they can land like a Bo Hughley type big-time player from outside the state. But Ethan Fields out of Dutchtown remains committed to Purdue, I believe. So, all right. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
What are your Thanksgiving plans?
I'm going to New Orleans. We're about to head out here in a minute.
Is that
Oh, wait. Dana Kraft said she really doesn't see any other Rhodesian Ridgebacks. So if you have a Rhodesian Ridgeback, there might not be a bunch of merch for you to buy.
But if you have a Dachshund.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. Get a Dachshund chair, a Dachshund bobblehead.
All right. And shout out Sheila with just the love in the chat.
Oh, man, Sheila makes my day every time I see her pop in there with just peace, love, and blessings.
Now Brian has chimed in. I've got family in Franklin, too. Sugarcane farmers. All of a sudden, everyone in Franklin's on the show.
Yeah, you know, we take the love. Go and see some sugarcane this weekend.
Drugs?
All right, boys.
No.
Shout out to Cajun Smokers.
Shout out Cajun Smokers, the official spice of your Thanksgiving.
Oh, you better throw some on.
Yeah, if you're gonna brine your turkey,
it's time to move on from pouring it into my
pour it into your pinky,
pour it into my palm.
my palm, and then just get a little lick.
Now you just get to put it on the turkey.
Put it on the turkey.
Put the turkey in the oven.
In the fryer. Turkey in the fryer.
Do you you
not air
turkey?
frying them?
I know. I'm just
Chill,
an air fry
fam.
guy. Yeah, you can't fit a turkey in there, but deep
stuff,
fry.
Do you stuff the turkey?
No, you just gut it, get it out,
You have to cut the neck
brine
of
it
it out.
out. You know, get filled up with the shots of
Juice.
and then you
The
fry
Big
it.
Daddy Donk juice.
Once you fry a turkey, you never go back.
That's true.
Never fried a turkey.
So you have
Man,
to
really, yeah.
I've had fried turkey, but
Yeah.
I've never fried a turkey.
cut that neck out.
Well, then you don't have to be the one who's frying it, but once you eat fried
Spatchcock it.
turkey,
That's the only way to go. Or you could pick one up from Iverstein's.
Yeah.
You know,
I have picked up Iverstein's turkeys twice before. They're big.
dude, he brought one here today that was probably 25 pounds.
Yeah, I made a mistake the first time of thinking
I could eat all this.
I don't even know if it fit into the fryer. So the next year when we got it, it made it smaller.
Do you fry them?
No, I do. I watch.
Oh, okay, you're gonna say because there's a lot of horror stories out there about the
100%.
fried turkey. A lot can go wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's just like boiling crawfish. A lot can go wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, but like frying a turkey,
Well, it's oil, so
you can like blow the house up.
no doubt.
Yeah, don't do it inside. You do this thing outside.
Don't do it under the carport either. Not very smart.
Hunter Fournette said, "Good show, guys." Thanks, Hunter.
Thanks. Don't put too much oil in the pot. Thaw your turkey. That's what happens. People put in a
Frozen.
turkey, yeah, that's still got some cold to it, and if you that mixed with the hot oil,
Just doesn't go
it's
well.
like a Diet Coke and some Mentos. You don't
I
want.
never did that.
That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
Done that
Well, yeah,
before.
don't do it to yourself. I've seen some videos online of people doing it in different ways, and that was too much.
Like turkey?
No, the Mentos and the Diet Coke, it wasn't in their mouth.
Oh, that's strange. The things you look up on the internet.
Some of those things find me.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who got in the chat today, hanging
Great.
out. Little Thanksgiving edition. It was laid back. It was
Happy
chill. It
Thanksgiving,
was,
everybody. Eat some food.
you know, everyone enjoy your time with whatever you're doing, family or by yourself. Doesn't matter. Enjoy it.
Take that walk with your cousins.
Take that walk. Yeah, walk the dog. Go walk the.
I need to walk the dog.
walk
You
the
gotta take the
doxy.
trash out.
Mm-hmm.
Trash
Yeah.
not even full.
Can you help me?
I can take it out right
Yeah,
here.
get your cousin to help you take the trash.
Were you ever a
out.
big yo-yo guy?
No, but I've seen them.
You know, walk the dog like a yo-yo. I don't know
You
why I
could do
didn't think of
the
that.
cats in the cradle where you do the triangle.
You know, when my generation, we were into like yo-yos, pogs, like all that stuff was like around. I found an old Yomega yo-yo, which was like the nice ones the other day. I kid you not.
You still got it?
I still got it.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll come in here. I'll walk dogs in here. Rock the cradle.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of it. Make it go to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, then to hold it down, then whoop, catch it.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
oh, yeah.
Lloyd.
Come on now. I know exactly what you're talking
Then
about.
let's
Those
go.
are the only 3 tricks.
That's
I
it.
don't think there's any more.
mean,
I
we
don't
can do
know.
more.
Let me go home for Thanksgiving. Let me work on a couple things. I'll come back next week and I'll Yomega.
Look,
Gonna do some
look
tricks.
at this. I mean, the first one you see.
There's-
Doing the cradle. But yeah, I mean, learn to yo-yo this weekend. Maybe get back with some old family if that's what you're going to do. Pull the yo-yo
I'm
out.
surprised that when I threw it down, it just wasn't dry rotted. It
Yeah,
just
it
snapped
snapped.
right off and broke.
Did you get first pull?
100%.
Do you go
And back and just
just like round a bike coach?
it just nostalgia just comes rushing over me,
Do you go with
and
the
I'm right back there in the cafeteria in 5th grade,
Getting this thing taken away from me.
hoping the girls are watching while I'm about to walk this dog.
Yeah. Oh,
Is that Shea walking the
See?
dog across the whole cafeteria?
Shea was walking dogs, and then there's that one kid that could do backflips.
Yeah,
is
right.
that you?
Takes all the kick. No, I cannot do it. I wish.
No, he was walking dogs.
Oh,
too.
yeah, walking the dog.
too. I could shoot this basketball though.
Yeah. I don't know what. I was causing all sorts of problems in the lunchroom. The Friday clap, they got banned. We would stand up and clap every Friday because it was Friday. And now they can't do it at Menard anymore. And some kid tried to do it, you get automatically suspended. And
Look at
sorry,
you.
boys.
Is anyone in the chat mentioning my yo-yo skills yet?
Let's see.
If they want to challenge any challengers.
Challenge you to a yo-yo duel.
What if we yo-yoed for the rights to the power?
You and Carter, yo-yo off. No, dude, there's nothing more. There wouldn't be a bigger flex than if you're like, oh, are you kidding me? Who could walk this dog longer?
All right.
Hold it. Still spinning.
I'm still
Still
going.
holding. Still holding. All right. Speaking of walking the dog
All right.
and not getting yo-yoed around, if you are, call Lance Beal,
Shout out,
who
Lance.
sponsors the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't get jerked around. Call somebody that can help. Lance Beal for all your law needs, especially when you go home. Who knows what you're going to get into? Always nice to have a lawyer on the line.
Gotta have a lawyer.
Because I'm sure you'll get in a fight with your uncle. Maybe talk about, I don't know, football.
Even if it's pro bono.
Maybe
Still have a
maybe
lawyer.
the Billy Napier, Brian Kelly conversation comes up at the dinner table. Just call Lance Beal. He's in Lafayette. He can tell you the truth.
Yeah, anyone in the Acadiana area, hit up Lance or elsewhere.
And if you want to hear from Lance, I think you're about to, because here it comes.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Why Christmas?
Used to be, when you needed legal help for complicated issues, you could walk into your hometown lawyer's office and get assistance for a variety of legal needs. Nowadays, every time you have a different issue, it seems like you have to meet a new lawyer at a new law firm for every legal problem. Attorneys Lance Beal and Kenny Hebert at Beal & Hebert in Lafayette are here to offer you one law firm for all your legal needs. Beal & Hebert have several attorneys experienced in multiple areas of law, whether it's personal injury, family law, estate planning, business law, construction law, and more. Beal & Hebert can handle all of your legal needs. Beal & Hebert, Louisiana's hometown lawyers.